Hello, and welcome to this special Q&A video with Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. In today's video, we're sharing an exclusive sneak peek from the latest webinar's question and answer session. If you'd like to dive deeper and watch the full webinar replay, it's available for just $6.99 over at alexcollier.tv, exclusively for our community of truth seekers. Before we get started, we'd be so grateful if you could like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to get notified of all new videos. Your support helps spread Alex's messages from the Andromedans to more people around the world. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Whether it's your thoughts, a question, or even just an emoji, every comment counts, and we read them all. Your feedback and engagement really make a difference. If you'd like to show a little extra support, consider clicking the Super Thanks button, the heart with a $sign, to give a tip. Every bit helps us continue to bring you more content from Alex Collier. Now, let's get into this special Q&A with Alex.
Do you have any insight into Donald Trump's connection to Israel and buying Gaza? Many are saying this is the Antichrist.
Let me give you some historical perspective on this. For decades and decades and decades, the Palestinian people have asked countries around the Middle East for help over and over and over again. They would go to the United Nations and they would vote against Israel, or they would vote in favor of the Palestinians. But no country actually stepped up to actually do something. There were, back in the 70s, there was a lot of conversation with Saudi Arabia about them giving the Palestinians a piece of land where they could create their own country. There's parts of Saudi Arabia they don't use at all. And Saudi Arabia decided no, they wouldn't do it. So and this is my perspective, this was Trump getting into their head. He was calling them all out, all of them, calling them out. You see, it's one thing for them to get together and say, we hate Israel. But it's another thing for them to get together and actually help the Palestinians. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole history of that particular situation because it's complicated and it's rife with betrayal and all kinds of things. But what we have to focus on is some kind of a solution. So, the reason Trump said that, hey, we'll just put America here. Well, every country in the Middle East knows what that means. That means a massive military presence by American troops on the Gaza. And nobody wants that. We don't even want that. America even doesn't really want that. So what he did was he called them out. He called their bluff. And now he's living rent-free inside Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and all the other countries in the Middle East, Iran. He's living rent-free. Because now what's happened, by him saying we'll do it, because they know that if he says he'll do it, he'll do it. Now all of a sudden, they're all talking to each other and getting together and saying, look, we need to figure this out. We cannot have America put a base there. And they're right. It's not appropriate. But now they're actually wanting to do something. In other words, they're getting off their asses and actually doing something about helping and supporting the Palestinians instead of just lip service. Bullshit. Now they're going to do something. And you watch. They will. They have plenty of wealth. They can do it. They can transform that country in that area in 10 years and make it something truly, truly special. Now, if you go back to the conversation, the interview we just listened to with Michael Jaco, there are serious, serious issues in the country of Israel that have got to be addressed. They have to be addressed. Pedophilia, organ harvesting, human trafficking, the whole gambit of darkness. Gaza has been a great distraction for the world to not have to deal with what's going on in Israel. And the issue is not the Israeli people, it's the Khazarians. It's the mafia. That's what has to be dealt with. Because whenever Israel gets in a spot, they start a war and it's against the Palestinians. Okay, they go after the Palestinians, Hamas. Now, Hamas is another issue as well. So it's complicated. It's not black and white. There's an enormous amount of gray in this situation. However, in order to really resolve it and everybody to be accountable, all these countries that are in that arena and area have to be involved in order to fix it and create a genuine, stable environment in that area. And he's called them on it. That's what Trump was doing. He was drawing attention to it. He's not going to send troops into Gaza. It's not going to happen. Okay, he's going to be pulling all of our troops out of most places in the world because we simply can't afford it. Remember, this is all the corporate United States, Inc. And it's bankrupt, ladies and gentlemen. It's completely bankrupt. It is no longer business as usual. And it never can be again. So that's my take on it. All right. That's my take on what Trump was doing. And and again, this is fifth dimensional chess, folks. And sometimes when you promote somebody, you're not so much promoting them as you are drawing them out and putting them in front of the world for the world to see. And then once you've done that, isn't it interesting how sometimes information then begins to leak? And now everybody has a face to the information. So there are multiple levels of strategy going on here with every single move. It's not a comic book, it's not a movie, although it looks like a movie, and the Q team, the Q posts have referred to it as a movie. But everything has been very, very carefully thought out. Every single move has been strategized, and every move and counter move has been calculated. There are some who still think that the world is full of regressive ETs and all this stuff. We never, ever could have gotten to this place if they were still here. We would never be in this place where we are right now, completely flipping the table over. That's where we're at. We're flipping the table over. This is the change that the world's been asking for. This is the creation of a new domain of knowing, where transparency around the world in all government will be the norm. That's what we're creating here, is a new domain of knowing. That's what you're witnessing. Sometimes you have to get out of your head and listen to your heart. Okay? The mind tries to make rational purpose of everything that it sees and it thinks it understands. But, the thing about truth is that, do you actually have truth if you don't have all the pieces? No, you don't. You have pieces of truth, and then you have pieces of I don't know. And that's important when you try to put everything together. You have to understand that if you don't know all the moving pieces and have all the intelligence, then you can't possibly know all the truth. And none of us do. None of us do. We're all working hard to not only figure it out, but to try to make sense of it. But there is a place for intuition, for gut instinct. And we have been very conditioned to use our minds, to be in fear, to run and hide, and to react in a space of fear. And how often does that work for anybody? It's a very low percentage, actually. So the world is changing, and we also need to change. Now, that happens on an individual level. When you look in the mirror every morning, who is it that you see? Is that the person you've always wanted to be? Is that the person that you're looking at in the mirror that cannot be any better, is perfect, is absolute? And if that's a yes for you, then congratulations. If it's a no for you, then understand that evolution, conscious evolution, conscious growth, spiritual growth is always constant. It never stops. It just doesn't stop. So we are always changing. You are not the same person you were yesterday, nor am I, nor is anybody. You may look alike, but parts of you are different. And that's just how this works. That's the whole purpose of having spirit fall into physicality, so that we can experience and challenge ourselves to become more, to understand more, to go to the very depths of our soul and who we are, in order to truly understand who we are. It's just what it is. This isn't a one and done. No life is one and done that has soul. Okay? There's an old Buddhist saying, and I heard this years and years ago, and I absolutely love it, but I've never really had a chance to use it. And this old Buddhist saying is like this: the oxes are slow, but the earth is patient. In other words, no matter how long it takes you, you'll get there, because the earth, the spirit, the universe is patient, because we don't live in real time. Okay? It's a consciousness, it's a belief system. So hopefully I answered your question. I went a little off the rails there, but
Thank you so much for watching today's question and answer video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon to stay updated on new videos. Your support truly helps us spread Alex's messages from the Andromedans and reach more people. For those interested in the complete experience, remember that the full webinar replay is available for just $6.99 at alexcollier.tv. This is where you'll find Alex's in-depth insights and answers to more questions from our community. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment or drop an emoji below. We read every single comment, and your engagement really means a lot to us. To keep up with the latest from Alex Collier, you can visit alexcollier.org for more about his work, alexcollier.news to sign up for our email newsletter with the latest updates and exclusive content, and alexcollier.live for the most recent news and info. And don't miss our full library of over 250 past webinars on alexcollier.tv. Thanks again for supporting the work of Alex Collier. Your support makes it all possible, and we're truly grateful for each and every one of you. See you next time. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.